All right, so today we're going to start working on the Dodge. Had it a couple days now. Haven't really done anything. We did take the fender flares off because I think they're atrocious. We got a line on wheels. We're waiting for the guy. The guy's jerking us around on Marketplace. We're going to clean up. We're going to power wash, do the door jams. You know how we power wash around here. We power wash everything. We're not going to get into the interior because the interior is pretty clean. But we are going to do all the jams and under the hood, under the suspension. You know, I do have a check engine light. Ran the codes with my small code reader. I didn't do it with my big one. And nothing comes up. Now, that doesn't mean there's not a code there, but these battery terminals are so friggin' dirty that definitely could be suspect. So that'll definitely, a low voltage code will set a light off, and then you'll have to reset it, and you'll chase that for anything electrical with grounds. We're going to take that off because it's all, and we know there's been mice in there. We think. The valve cover, it looks like somebody might have been living under there, so I might pull that off just to look under there. And make sure this is fastened on here, because that is the insulation that can fall on the exhaust manifold and burn the truck down. So we don't want to do that yet. We haven't gotten that annoyed with it yet. So got a bunch of stuff on order, and yeah, we'll see what we're doing here. All right, we are done power washing. About 3 hours. We literally got every single inch, flushed out all the quarter panels, behind the tail lights, underneath everything. Done a kind of a second, third assessment. We got a little bit of rust right there. Got a little tiny spot there. Nothing there, surprisingly. Doors and everything very solid. Cleaned all the hinge areas. Nothing there. This hinge needs to be replaced or rebuilt. This part is loose, not a big deal. We got the new cover coming. We got a bunch of stuff coming tomorrow, but no rot on the bottom of the doors. They're spotless. Inside, go around the other side here. Like I said, we know it had clear coat issues, that's for sure. So we got a dent there. We got some rust bubbling right here. It's not through though. And we did flush it out, wash it out. Got everything underneath. Got the wheels clean. I still don't like them, but they're clean. Bottom of this door is perfectly fine, no rust. Rockers, no rust. Front. No rust, no rust, no rust, no rust. Like I said, we got the wheels clean. Got some stuff, you know, the powder coating coming off the control arms, but that's not really anything. Of course, this is very rough looking. What we might try to do, just to buy us a little bit of time, because as you know, we have lots of projects going on. We might try the Poppy's patina on this. Don't know yet. It's just a thought. But this wheel, obviously the brake caliper's holding up because that was literally brown. So, but like I said, we got the wheels cleaned up. Still not fond of them. And under the hood, we spent a good hour and a half just under the hood. Everything's clean. Took the valve cover off. Did find a mouse nest under the valve cover from the insulation. I got into the insulation a little bit there with the power washer, but just gonna have to refasten a few places. Gonna have to gotta clean this air filter or replace it. I don't know what. Get these batteries cleaned up. We're gonna let it sit probably a couple days before we hook everything up. We don't have to have it, so there's no sense in rushing to hook the batteries back up. But this stuff is all clear coated, and the clear coat starts coming off. That's just how it is. Even the oil pan was that way, but everything's good and nice and clean. Don't see any leaks anywhere. A little bit of crust on the springs, which is normal, but all in all, like I said, it's got really good bones. The biggest thing is the few dents and the paintwork. So like I said, we'll get it done. Another project, and we did clean up the bed, but that didn't need much because I don't think it's ever been used. Nice and clean in there. So all right, just a quick update on the Cummins 3500, and we will pick you up when we do something else. All right, so we're making a little bit of headway with the Cummins. Engine bay we showed you is all cleaned up. Got the batteries topped off, recharged them, painted the front intercooler. Just got everything cleaned up. Haven't started doing any maintenance stuff on it. We did take the interior apart yesterday. Got everything cleaned up, everything blown out, everything. There was, must have been a red-haired doggy because there was lots of red-haired dog hair in here in the back. It was all, you know, but we got interior cleaned up. So we got our new lid, not our new console lid. It is black, and this is almost like a really dark gray, which isn't available from what I found. It's pretty close though, so if you look at it, hard to tell the difference, but we're gonna put that on this morning. We'll show you that. And the big job we're going to tackle today is we got our seat upholstery. So we got this. Let's see if we can pull it out. Hang on. Hold on. 2 hands. They vacuum pack it so it sucks down, but new seat upholstery and a new cushion. And what we're going to do first thing is so what we'll do is put this seat up as far as we can, and then unbolt the seat and take the cushion off and then bring it back. So we'll show you as soon as we get that out. We won't bore you with that. So less than 10 minutes, took the seat out. It is 4 13mm bolts. Got to use a 13mm shallow socket with it not clipped all the way on, because shallow is just not, it's too high for a deep one but too shallow for a shallow. So you can do it, or you can use a wrench, but got to be a little bit of a contortionist. Rear ones are super simple, and I blew everything out yesterday, and you can still see all the debris because this stuff here has like almost a greasy oil on it, so it just attracts everything. So we'll clean all that out. There's our amplifier there, and got the seat out. Like I said, less than 10 minutes. Got to be careful with your hands, you don't cut them up, but this is the big thing, got to unplug this, and then that has to be taken out through there, and then I will show you how we're going to do this. I'm going to try to set up so you can see what I'm doing. I've only done one Dodge before, so it's going to be kind of a little bit interesting, but it's not hard at all. So, all right, let me get set up and we'll show you. All right, we're going to take this seat apart and try to get this off. Like I said, I've done this once before. I've done a couple Fords, done one Dodge, so I have an idea, but we have the cover and the cushion over there sitting out in the sun to get it warm, to make it more pliable, but the seat's out. So what we got to do is separate the top part. So what we'll do, don't know if you're gonna be able to see all this. Boop. And then gotta take this, pry this down here. If you can see the bolts there. Torx head number, I don't know what the number is. Oh, T5. So take the bolts out. And then this should come off. Now I think all right, so because it is power, okay, there we go. So that's we don't have to take that totally off. Like I said, the one that I did was on the passenger side. So I'm gonna try to get a better view for you. I don't know. It's gonna be hard to see, but do that, and then you can see there's just clips like that. That just comes undone like that, and then these just clip. They just slide over. That's it. And of course, the warmer it is, the easier it is for the clips. You got all these cables. I try not to do anything with them. Sometimes this is something I made many years ago. All right, so that's that. Hopefully you can kind of see what I'm doing. So that's all the clips. What we have to do, we don't have to take this out, but it has to be separated. This is for the power seat. What I might do is pry this open a little bit. It's just a thin piece of metal. Take that out. Hopefully you can. All right, so then this just should come right off, hopefully. Biggest thing is having somewhere to work. And then you have, and you can see the old cushion's just destroyed. It's literally, there's nothing left of it. It's just 20 years old and lots of people sat on it. So we got one other clip here. Got to be careful because the edges are very sharp. Okay. So the trick is to push it in a little and then slide it off because it, yeah. Okay. Nope. Yep, got it. All right, that should be that. It should separate from there, maybe. And that's your old cushion. Boom. You can see it's just totally disintegrated. We're going to toss that over there. Now, a lot of this lint stuff, you just make your fingers a little bit wet and it comes right off. Rest of the seat seems to be in very good shape. No broken springs, which is good. Just the old and you don't want any sharp edges, but a lot of the sharp edges are there. There's nothing you can really do about it, but you just don't want to rip your new cover. Now what I'll do is once I get this all together, I'll take the air compressor and blow out all the nooks and crannies from this stuff. All right, before we go any further, try to work with a clean area. You don't want to get the new stuff dirty and be better off working on a set of horses with a piece of plywood, really. But we work with what we got. All right. Hang on. So our new cover matches pretty well for being 20 years old. And then our new cushion. So what we're going to do is put our cushion down first. And that just kind of slips over. Doesn't. Now remember, this is aftermarket and it was less than $60, so you know it's not going to fit perfect. Okay. That's pretty good. Okay. That works, I think. Now let's see if we can get our cover on. You got to do this one section at a time. So what I'll do is I'll slip it on and do the front probably first. Yeah, see, that's a little bit different color. It's more, well, maybe not. I don't know, it's hard to say. So what I'll do is I'll clip this on here first. Got to start somewhere. All right, so I made a mistake. What you got to do is you got to stick the, this is Velcro from the factory, so you got to stick these pieces in there first before you do anything, I think. You're learning as I am. All right, maybe. It is simple, but it's not super simple. Pretty much, I would say anybody can do this as long as you're a little bit handy. All right, there we go. Now let's see if we can. Yep, it's popping up. Yeah, it's like I have it back too far. I think it's got to come forward more. So let's do this. Let's put this on, maybe. I guess I could have watched a YouTube video or two. That would have helped out a lot. I think I did originally. Let's get this, try to place this where it should be. That looks kind of right. Let's see if we can get the Velcro in there, because that's what holds the dimple in the seat. And then let's see if it sticks very well. Okay, maybe that'll work. It's kind of trial and error when you don't know what you're doing. That Velcro, whatever it is, it sticks very well. Let me know in the comments if anybody's out there has done this kind of stuff before, if there's any tricks. I see it's like a seam here that's I don't know if that'll lay out once it's on there. There we go. I guess once it's stretched on. All right, let's try to put this on here now. That goes like that, I believe. Yeah, it just kind of fits in the slot. Tuck that in, that goes around the side. All right, let's try strapping this front on. Yes. It goes like that? No. Oh no, it goes around enough, I believe. Definitely a struggle fest, but just kind of got to keep working it, I think. All right, yeah, so I'm on the wrong area. So this, should have took a picture of it on my phone first. That would have been the smart thing to do, but never said I was smart. All right, so this goes like that. Okay, that goes like that. I think that would have to go over, but let's get it all clipped and then we'll figure out what goes where. I think we gotta cut some holes. I don't want to cut any holes yet till we know exactly. Whoop. Sorry. Kind of use this as a partial template so we know the holes go on the side rail or whatever the side piece. So let's not do that yet. See if we can get it stretched over and on. We can always unclip it. That's the thing. So if we get it partially on, we can always stretch and move, hopefully. All right, that's, see, that looks a little more blacky purple, but I mean, for under $60, I can't complain. Oh, I can. I probably will, but all right, so that's the basic. Now we got to do this back part, which I think is going to be the hard part. So pull this through. There we go. All right, that's the last piece. I'm assuming. So where's? I should have took a picture. Dum-dum. That can't clip over that. Huh. All right. Hopefully I can stretch this enough. Trying to make it so you can see, but it's just kind of difficult. All right. But then I guess I can clip over that. Let's just keep pulling and stretching, I guess. You want to keep checking the top of it to make sure you're not putting wrinkles. All right, here we go. Hopefully this stretches and doesn't rip. That's where the heat would definitely help. And it is pretty warm. It's 70 out here today and I'm in the sun, so. Come on, baby. My little trusty tool. Okay, there we go. There we go. Seems like it's got to go over a bit. All right. Now this piece, I guess that clips right over. This piece goes on next, I believe. But where? That goes to there, I guess. Huh. Yeah. So before you do this, I rush to do everything. Take a picture. You know, it's pretty straightforward, but then I'll figure it out. But it would just make more sense to take a picture of it. This must clip on here. It's got to. Yeah, see, look at the, see this is made to go over this. This one's a little different. Might have to use some kind of zip ties, but here I don't see these clips on this. And like here they give you padding so it doesn't wear through on that. Hang tight, I'm gonna grab some duct tape and put it on there. All right, we got some heavy duty duct tape. I just don't want any edges. I don't know where this clips to. Like I said, the other one didn't have that. Let's see what the other side looks like. It looks right. Still a little wrinkle there, but huh. Interesting. It's almost like it has to go over this way a little bit. And I think I remember that about the last one. I could see the edge of the pad. You know, this aftermarket stuff, we all know where it's made, and it's just the quality isn't like the factory stuff. What I can do, I think this can go over a little bit more. I am not sure where that won't reach there. Huh. Keep saying, huh? Don't know. I'm gonna have to figure something out here. I don't know if I really need this part. I guess it'll strap. You know what? Let's try it. I'm gonna put some of this on there just for the edge, so it can't rub. And I'm sure this isn't going to last 20 years like the factory one. We can stretch. See, I don't also want to overstretch. Looks like it would go right on there. Okay. Yeah, I guess. And see, maybe the cover is a little too far forward, and I think after use it'll all go to where it's supposed to go. Oh yeah. So what I'm going to do, maybe, I'm going to undo the Velcro a little bit and see if I can pull it a little more forward, maybe. What I should do is undo this. And this is all trial and error. And I hate to bore you with, but it takes time. It's not complicated by any means. It just takes time. All right, let's try that. Moving it back about a ½ inch. Yeah, see, I don't think it's supposed to. I think it's got to go back forward a little bit. I don't know how much this is meant to, because your front material shouldn't be in your seat area, I wouldn't think. All right, that's more better, maybe. Like I said, it seems like it has to go over to the right. Or whether it can or not, that's a whole nother story. Let's clip this back on. Maybe. Yeah, it just doesn't seem like that's supposed to go there. Let's do that. And I think, like I said, I think it's just trial and error. You put it where you think it goes, and you might have to move it. The struggle is real. That doesn't seem like it's going to pull that far. Half tempted to leave that off, but I don't want it loose either. That's the last piece. That goes around like that. Let's try again. I get frustrated easy. Got to keep at it. That's the thing. I usually always figure it out. It just takes time. I'm half tempted to drill that and put a zip tie in it because I don't think it'll hold. Actually, it is holding. And this piece goes over this piece, which I'm not sure how that's gonna, because it's the same size. Like on the factory one, the outside one was bigger to go over it. Like I said, you know, for $50, oh, there we go. For $50, you might have to modify a little bit and make it work to suit your needs. There we go. See, I made a mistake. That's got to go underneath there. Okay. Take that back off. And I said that before, I think. This part goes okay, and then this piece goes back over. All right, that looks pretty good. I might still drill that and put a zip tie on it. Looks pretty good. What do y'all think? Let's see if we can put these brackets back in. And that's the other thing, is once you get sitting on it and doing all that, it's gonna change how it fits. Okay. Don't send anything home, just start it so you can get it moving around. This hydraulic cylinder is kind of tight here. Rip it. There, maybe, yes, no. Okay. Okay. Now we can send them home. Put them all the way in. Make sure you don't get your material behind it. All right. The material's tight, that's for sure. All right, there we go. That looks pretty good. That's stretched out. And like I said, once you're on it and wear it in, what do y'all, the colors, this is a little more blackish. This is more of a grayish, but it's very close. And I can get a new one for here too if I really want to make them match. But there you go. That looks pretty good. All right. Now what we need, I forgot my razor blade. Let me run back home and get a brand new razor blade. And give me 5 minutes. Be right back. All right, we got a razor blade. Now what we want to do is we want to mark out. That's pretty forgiven that scutcheon for where the power seat goes through. But you want to try to cut it as close as possible. So what I want to do is I want to pull it down. If you look at the old one, it was right along this seam here. See, just above it, like 1/4 inch. So what you want to do when you cut through upholstery is you want to exit, because you can cut round holes, but that's hard to do. But if you exit, you can put it right through. An old upholstery guy told me that many years ago. Mr. Rodriguez, I think his name was. Jack, you probably remember him because you dated his daughter. But yeah, he was very good at what he did and very reasonable. So what we're going to do is cut an X. And then stick through like that. And then this is our part that adjusts the back of the seat. And of course, we're going to have to make sure that still works. We'll do that once we get everything back in and together. Well, of course, we should check it before we put it all together. That would be the smart thing to do. Now that came out of there, but it doesn't want to screw in there. Now, why is that? Just run it in once or twice and get it started. Okay, that's good. Now this one's a little more critical. So I'm feeling it with my fingers, feeling where the hole is. Then I'll start in the middle. Pull that down a little bit. Do an X. That way. Then that way. And then we have a hole and we can fold it over. That way no sharp edges. Let's see if we can put this back in. Yeah, I believe so. Might take a little bit to get that in because now you have the fabric that's folding under it. Should go though. Come on. There we go. Okay. That looks good. And then let's wipe this out while we have it apart. Get all the gookies out of there, even though nobody will ever see it. Doesn't cost anything to be clean and neat. All right, and I'm assuming, which way does it go? Like that? Yeah. Maybe not. Maybe it goes the other way. Yeah. Okay. Trial and error. Now you got to go through the upholstery on this. So you might have to do a little finagling. Maybe not. What we're going to do is put a little slice with our razor blade. You would think that would push right through. Okay. All right, let's try this again. that one started. Remember, don't over tighten, it's just plastic. All right. And I did drill that, put a zip tie there. I might paint that flat black. I don't think you're really going to see it, especially once it wears in, but that's just me being anal. But yeah, let's see if the seat works. Seat reclines. But yeah, that looks pretty good. Like I said, the color's not 100%. It's a little off, but it looks really nice. And now you got a nice cushiony seat again. So what we'll do is get it, put it back on the rails and put it in, and we'll show you when we get that done. And we're going to do the console lid also. All right, I don't know if you were able to see what I had done taking this off. This camera is doing wonky things, and my buddy Jack from Anything Goes Garage said do not use aftermarket batteries, and I had to put an aftermarket battery in, and it just seems to be wonky. But hopefully you saw how I took that apart. The factory cover, this is the new one, we're putting it back on. I noticed that the timer wasn't counting out, so I don't know what happened. All right. Like I said, it's not anything that, this is a very, very simple project. I will do a quick recap for you in case the last segment didn't work. So this is the factory. Goes on like this. You just pop this off, pull it off, just pop, pop, pop. It's got like 6 factory rivets. They pop right out. Pull this piece out, and then you have 4 screws that takes the hinge off, and then you have to take the latch off, 2 screws. And then just on the new lid, it's got screws instead of clips. You pull the screws out, put your latch on, put your hinge on, and that's where we're at. See, that seems a little loose. Don't know if we can tighten that up or not. I just don't want it rattling going down the road. Yeah, I don't think there's an adjustment there. We'll go with it. All right, so next thing we got to do is this goes on there. I guess we're gonna have to adjust it as we. So what I want to do is probably get 1 screw started up here. Hopefully don't lose it. Oh. Righty tighty, kids. All right, let's see if we can. All right, that's that. Let's put one in the bottom. Double check again. Oh, now see, now it's tight. So that piece of plastic is all right. Let's put all these little screws back in. Guess there's about 10, 12 of them. See if we can not lose them. Can't even keep them in my hand, no less not losing them. Ugh. All right. Don't over tighten them. There's not much into them, I don't think. Okay. Might be a good thing that I lost all that footage, because it's just kind of boring watching me put screws in. And we're, oh no, we're not missing one. I thought we were missing one. Magnetic bit makes a huge difference. I always use the magnetic bit, and I had one that I broke and didn't have one for a while, and last week I just said, oh, let's go get one, because it just makes a big difference. All right, well, I think that concludes our new lid cover. Like I said, it's a little more black than gray, but all in all, and our seat's all nice and new now. It is a little bit narrower than the factory, but I think once you get on it and put your butt on it and sit on it for 47 hours driving, it'll be fine. But all in all, this whole thing was probably about $100 for all this, and this take about an hour and a half time, under 2 hours, but probably an hour and a half, and just some basic tools. Very simple to do, and it looks 1,000,000% better. You open the door, nothing's ripped, nothing, everything's nice and sturdy. So all right, we're gonna wrap this part up, and we'll show you what else we do, because we still have lots to do, and we still hate these wheels, but we have ones we think that we like, and we're gonna try to mock them up and see how they are. So that's the next step. Like I said, lots more to do. All right, I need everyone out there, our whole 4,000 subscribers, to chime in. I need some ideas, and I need people's honest opinions. Do we like those wheels with the truck, or those wheels with the truck? Now you have to remember, they're going to be 35 by 12.5s on there, so these are just stock. They're going to be that size tire. They're going to be this size tire, not that tire though, but that size tire on those rims. So what's y'all's opinion on the polished aluminum or the flat black? They're the same wheel. I just taped it off and painted it so I didn't hurt the wheel. I personally, I think the polished aluminum is going to look good with big wheels. You know, like I said, the tires are going to be much bigger. It's hard to visualize with these little baby tires on them, like a baby dog right there. But I like the polished aluminum. Let's see what Denise says when she gets back and sees it. And yeah, you know, the polished aluminum goes, of course we're not going to have those running boards, but if we did go polished stainless with the bumper, the silver on the bottom, which we're probably not going to leave when we paint it, but we can always put it back. So don't know, I don't know. Decisions. And we showed you a nice, clean, beautiful interior. Still got to fix that door hinge, but all nice and perfect again. All right, let me hear everybody's opinion, please. All right, so this morning we're going to work on some dents. We have boom. We got a lot of this one out yesterday, still dinged. We got a majority of that. We got a high spot still there, but I know I'm gonna have to do body work, so it's not that critical. I'm still trying not to crack the paint. Getting behind it is a little challenging, but we got 85% of that, because that's what we do. And over here, this had a pretty sharp ding here. We got most of that out, and we got this front fender, which is still rippled, but it was pierced in. Took the inner fender well out, got behind it, pried it, tapped it. So still got some work to do, but at least now I can do body filler and paint when I'm ready. I'm not ready for that yet. And then this morning we're going to work on this one. It's kind of creased in here. Take the inner fender well out, and then yeah, try to pop majority of that out. Like I said, we know we're going to have to do body work. There's a lot of little dings that I don't know how involved, but if I am going to paint it eventually, and what my plan is now, and you know, as you know, if anybody follows this channel, they know my plans never last. But what I'm going to do, I think, is buy the paint. I need figured 1.25 gallons of paint. I'm not going to do the inside of the bed. We got to do the hood, which is easy. Do the body work there, the doors, everything else. So, but what I might do, getting back to that, is get the blue, paint, like do this body work, paint this quarter panel, paint the tailgate. All right, and then when my ADD gets the best of me, like paint the door panel, like this side, because to do it all is just, it's a lot of work. If you know anything about paint and body work, it's a lot of work to do it all. And I want to be able to use the truck. That's the whole thing. We want to get it set up for our camper. And so, I mean, once I do buff it out, I'm going to do a little bit of Poppy's patina on here just to make it look decent for now. Once we get it decent so we can get our truck camper, then I can mess with that stuff. So, you know, like I said, we're going to touch this up, do a little Poppy's patina there, buff it out, get the worst of the stuff out. I will fix that little rust spot. That's like a weird spot, and it's like the rust hasn't traveled. That's what's weird about it, but this is what it is. Probably those stupid flares. So like I said, I'll buff it out. You know, up here, I don't know what I'll do, but for now, like I said, I'm gonna buff it out, fix a panel at a time. And I know it's not the proper way, but that's how I have to do things, because we have to get back on this car. We're struggling with that quarter panel, but we got to get back on that. I figured I'd take a week, put it into this truck, get it roadworthy, and then at least I can use it and then jump back over there. So those are the wheels we're using. We're going tomorrow to get our 35 by 11.5 17s. Got a little nick there. I'm gonna grind that out, polish that up, clean those wheels up, and then we are going to put these god-awful things up for sale. Some young kid will probably buy them. They actually have decent tread on them. They got the lugs on these things are huge, but they're just obnoxious as hell going down the road. So, but like I said, those are the wheels we're going to use. I ordered lug nuts because the lug nuts I got from the guy won't work. And yeah, so tomorrow we'll get that, and things will probably change between now and then, so stay tuned. All right, we're making headway slowly but surely. We just changed oil. Gonna do the fuel filter. Gonna put an extension on the drain for the fuel block so it doesn't leak all over the car, on the truck, on the differential and everything. Like I said, we got that done out, 85%. Got everything greased, got our running boards cleaned off, and we got new pads coming. Still got to do something with that. Still waiting on the brakes. We got that out a little bit more. Still going to work it a little bit more as we get time. That is a little bit of a crease. Like I said, that's all got to get body work. I got to do something with this one. This one, somebody used acid on it, and not the way I use that. They let it drip. So we'll have to do something with that. We washed this off yesterday and the thing filled up. There was no drain in it. So I drilled a hole there. Yeah, just like I said, got stuff all cleaned up. This, like I said, I've said it numerous times. Oh yeah, and we got a lot of this dent out of the fender. Still rippled here. It's got a little crease that might be high, but we're gonna have to do filler on that before we paint anyway. As you can see, we took the inner fender wells out, got them cleaned up, Yesterday we got the wheels polished up and cleaned. Going to Discount Tire today to get our tires, which we're excited for. I looked under there, I crawled all around, greased drive shaft yesterday. Truck is clean under there, it really is. It's dry, it's not rusty. I mean, it's got, you know, surface rust of course on the frame, which everything does, but there literally is no rust. And I know I keep saying it, but I'm really amazed. And by the way, Jack, that, believe it or not, is not a catalytic converter. That is a resonator. So it is 5-inch. It wouldn't be 5-inch if it was a catalytic converter. So somebody took it off, put that on there. That's why it's not that loud, which is a good thing. Like I said, we're gonna get back to it here. Gonna change this fuel filter, flush all this out, and keep moving along. Oh yeah, and we got most of the interior was finished anyway. We still have to do some with that hinge. We got these new pieces, so no more broken pieces there. They were like 28 bucks on Amazon. So yeah, making headway slowly. Still got lots to do, but we're getting there. All right, we'll show you once we get our wheels. Of course, we're not going to put them on because we're waiting on brakes, but we'll show you, don't worry. All right, we just added a drain to the fuel filter canister. Reduced it down to 3/8 because I didn't have any 1/2-inch hose. Ran it back here, and it's right off the transmission. This way, if for some reason I gotta dump it, it doesn't go all over the rear end. We just flushed it out, which is good. Everything looks nice and clean and good, but just want to show you all something. Now, if you own a diesel, you know it's critical to change fuel filters. Most people do. Look at the difference in these filters. Of course, that's the new one. This thing is all full of crud. I don't know when that was changed. I mean, it's just packed in there. You know, that is a big no-no. All you're doing is hurting the injection pump, hurting the performance, hurting everything. Please, please, please change your fuel filters at least every other oil change. Some people do it every oil change. I think that might be a little bit much, especially if you're using additive. If you're using additive, you can buy a little more time, but I'm a very, very big advocate of changing oil and filters because that's what gives you longevity. So just a note, change your fuel filter when you do your second oil change. Every other one. I do oil changes between 3,000 and 5,000 depending on what vehicle. I never go over 5,000. Since I switched to full synthetic on the Focus, I do it every like 4,500, 5,000. Originally that got done every 3,000, 3,500. The car's got 415,000 miles on it. It doesn't burn a drop of oil. It does leak a little now, unfortunately, but that's another project. All right, just wanted to show you that and just tell everybody out there, change your filters. Best thing you can do for longevity and just everything. It'll make things last. So all right, so we got our wheels yesterday. Tires are all mounted, wheels are all polished. Goes big, 35 by 11.5 by 17s. We had sat them on there last night. Of course the truck's jacked up, so, but I think it's gonna look good. We did wet sand and buff out this quarter panel and touch up this. Of course that there's nothing you can do with, but it's definitely shinier, looks better. Still got to do something there. And we took the molding off today and wet sanded that. This still has to be buffed out, but we got a little shine to it. I think it's gonna look good with the chrome and all that. Took the tail light apart because there had moisture in it and cleaned it out, and half of the chrome came out. I sprayed them. They have a lens tint which looks okay, but There's 60 bucks for a new set of taillights, so I ordered them too. Like I said, we do have a little bit of rust here, and we got I kind of sprayed that a little bit. That's got to be wet sanded a little bit. It'll look better. It's not going to look great. It'll look 80%. This fender still has some issues, but like I said, I'm not doing body work now, so all I want to do is make it shine. We're going to take these off tomorrow once we're out of the sun. We have new pads. I'm going to wet sand these, polish these up, and then I have new pads coming today for that. 60 bucks. Amazon is your friend. And yeah, I think that's it. Like I said, we're waiting on the Poppy's patina. We're going to try that on the roof and then maybe the hood, see what happens. But I'm going to get this side buffed up, and then we are going to put our wheels on. So I'm excited. It's coming together. It's looking better. Like I said, not much I can do with the peel and clear coat at the moment, but that's okay. Hopefully we have a solution for it, and we'll see what happens. All right, so right now, I got a tip for the exhaust, a stainless tip, and because of the exhaust bend, it sticks out too far. So what I'm going to do, as you can see, I started cutting this. I'm going to cut 2 inches off of there, and that way it goes back in 2 inches. I did cut the pipe back 4 inches, so you don't see it. It's a 6 to 7 or 5 to 6 tip, or a 5 to 7 tip. I couldn't find just a 5 to 5. That's fine though. It'll look bigger, but it is straight 5-inch exhaust anyway. So, all right, once we get this cut and on here, we'll let you see it. I do want it sticking out a little bit, especially if we're gonna have a truck camper. So the other truck, I had it turned down a little bit. So I don't know if I can do that. I'd have to break it loose up there. We're not gonna do that right now though. So, all right, let me get this cut and I'll show you. All right, we got this on. There's definitely some play in it now because I cut a lot of it off. Instead of welding it, I am gonna tap screw it. Looks pretty good. I'm gonna put 3 tap screws in it. This way, if I have to move it, I'll figure it out once I get a camper. Because really, ultimately, that's what the ultimate thing is. What's it gonna do with the camper? So I might have to turn it down, might have to bring it out, don't know. But we'll see once we get the camper on. But I think that'll be good. It's got a little bit turned down. Try to keep it off the back of the truck. All right. Doing the brakes on the front, rotors, calipers, hoses. We got the wheel wells back in. Everything's painted flat black in there. Pulled the brakes apart there, greased the slides, everything. Of course, it's all the tip. Same thing on this side. I'm not sure because that's silver, that's black. Not really sure what we're going to do with that. But this side's almost done. What I'm doing is doing some detailing in the wheel well. Repainted these. I repainted them satin black because I don't really like the silver. I don't like them standing out. I was just cleaning up this stuff to paint. As you can see, the wheel well's all painted. I was going to paint in here satin black just because that's everything you see because the truck's jacked up. So running boards came out really nice. This side of the truck is fully detailed. It was heavy cut cleaner, a polish, and a coat of wax. Yeah, it looks pretty good though. Looks really good with the wheel wells satin black because they were painted. They had just overspray from the factory on them, but you know, like I said, with the truck jacked up, you'll see that. So I think I gotta paint these silver really to kind of, I don't know. I'm gonna see if I like the black or the silver, and we'll see what happens. But just wanted to update you. Today is Friday, and we're hoping to be done by Sunday, and then Monday get back onto the cut list. That's the plan. We do have taillights and a couple other little things coming Sunday. I took taillights out when I cleaned it, and there was the inside of the tail light, the reflective part was coming apart. Cleaned it out, but then I said, you know what, let me do the lens coat, which looks kind of cool, but it is illegal. So we have 2 new taillights coming, cheap, 60 bucks I think. So all right, we'll show you when we get this side done and get the wheels on. All right, brakes are done, wheels are on this side. It's buffed, compounded, looks pretty good. Did the calipers back here in silver, and up here they were silver already. Clear coated them. Everything's matte black in here. Paint's still wet. New brake lines, new everything. Did under here. Looks pretty good. I like it. I think it definitely is an improvement. I like the chrome. I wasn't sure if I'd, well, it's polished aluminum. Wasn't sure if I'd like the shiny stuff, but it looks really good. So, all right, let's get the other side done.